Hey everybody, Pastor Vern with your daily update for, let's see, where are we? July 27th, 2020. Into this last week of July. By the time we get to Sunday, we're going to be into August already. Summer is starting to fade quickly, but you know what? We're one more day closer to being back to a scenario where our lives are not quite as complicated. At least that's what I believe. And so we're going to continue along with some of our stories or some of our books of the Bible and talk about them a little bit over this next week or so. We started with the poetic books last week. We took a skip out of the historical books for a little while. And I think the last of the poetic books I'm going to talk about is the book of Job. Now, the book of Job has been touted as the greatest poem ever written because of how it was structured and how it was the syntax, all the things that make it what it is. Um, they Martin Luther thought it was the most sublime and magnificent writing in all of the scriptures. He made that comment in a letter that he had written, and one of it's often considered in the world of literature beyond the Bible as one of the greatest things ever written because of how it was structured, because of the way that it was done in a poetic fashion, even though we don't always read it that way. It had such plot twists, it had such irony, it had such interesting morals to the story, I guess you would say. And so the book of Job is really about suffering. And part of what the book of Job tries to explain is that suffering does not come from God. That suffering is an earthly phenomenon, and that God is always a part of your life, even during suffering, and can restore your life. Now we know the story of Job, a man who is wealthy, found favor with God, very righteous man, and Satan intervenes, kind of a contest with God, so to speak, about if he could get Job to denounce he's God. And he does horrible things to Job. His family is destroyed. His property is taken away. He is afflicted with illnesses of great pain and discomfort. And even his wife at one point says, "Why don't you just curse God and die instead of going through this process?" But Job stays strong. He stays strong with his faith in God, and even his so-called friends show up and try to convince him that he's had to do something against God in order to having to face this suffering. Now, that's an important point of the book of Job, is that we do not have to do something against God and get a punitive punishment from God. That's not really the way it works. Is that these things that are difficult in our lives, things we're going through now, things we've been in the past, and things we're going to face in the future are earthly things. They are brought on about by evil in this world, that Satan has got a good foothold here, and uses every opportunity to try to drive us a wedge between us and our God. And important thing we have to be reminded of in the story of Job is that at the end of the story of Job, God restores his life in a very positive way because he remained faithful and wouldn't denounce him and had stayed true to his righteousness. It's a tough read in some respects because both the subject matter and the way that some of it is structured. But it's a worthwhile read, I think, for all of us who sometimes wonder why is this happening? Why is that happening? I think it gives us some insight to God's way of focusing on us in the positive manner, even after we go through something very difficult. All right. Well, Look forward to moving into some other books of the Bible further on to this week with some different kind of connotations to them. We are looking forward to our busyness of the churches is starting to pick up. We've got some things going on. We are going to start confirmation this week. I'm excited about that. I believe I have 13 young people signed up for confirmation. There may be another one or two that are still considering the process in today's COVID scenario, and we're going to do the best we can with that. We've had graduation in Fullerton, which was accomplished for a couple of our folks in that church. We have graduation Riverside, graduation in St. Ed's this week, and so we're getting a little bit of normalcy back to life, even though we are being cautious about things. If you're comfortable with coming to church, we are taking precautions. We are social distancing. Masks are being wore. Some locations almost 100%, and other locations less than that, maybe 50%. But there's no stigma in wearing a mask in the worship center. Please, if that is what gives you more comfort, or and you want to return to church, please do not feel inhibited to wear a mask during worship. All right, let's take good care of yourself. Watch out for others best you can, and stay safe. See you later. Bye.